Sometime in May, I promised you all my sad TWSBI sob story. I filmed one in August that is so long, so I'm attempting it again. Hi, my name is Simone and I'm making videos about fountain pens. Today I am trying to tell you what has happened with TWSBI and me. The short version is I love TWSBIs, and I especially fell in love in the beginning of my fountain pen journey with TWSBI Ecos and their nibs. But I have had so many problems recently that I decided to not purchase any more TWSBI pens. Let's get into the longer story. I purchased my very first TWSBI Eco in 2017. I really liked it. I actually liked it more than my Lamy Safari that I have had since 1997. So over the years, I purchased the TWSBI Eco T in yellow green, and I noticed that I really liked the Eco T, and then I purchased the mint blue. I purchased a swipe in Prussian blue. Oops. I purchased a lilac, and then after that I purchased the TWSBI Mini Rose Gold. I also had a TWSBI VAC 700R. I sold that one, but not for any of the reasons mentioned here today. So I didn't include a paper dupe for that. And then I purchased 3 TWSBI Ecos in really fast succession. The TWSBI Eco in glow green, the cerulean blue, and the glow purple. I received the TWSBI Eco in white as a gift from a friend, and then I didn't purchase Ecos for quite a long time. I used them a lot. I loved writing with them. I loved writing with all the different nib sizes. When I cleaned them, I followed the instructions that you can see on here. I disassembled the nib and feed, took them out of the friction fit nib section, and then I put it back in. I refilled my pens. I really loved how easy they were to clean. And I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. When I shared more and more fountain pen content on YouTube, I was frequently warned of removing the nib and feed from the pen because the sections would be cracking, but that did not happen to me. And so I didn't feel concerned until I noticed minor cracks on the inside of the barrels. I don't have any without a nib inside, but there were really minor cracks to be seen on the inside. I acknowledged them. I wasn't too concerned. They weren't too big. They didn't go all the way through to the outside. But of course, I was worried, and so I decided to stop removing nibs and feeds, listen to the advice I got from YouTube commenters, and stop removing the nibs and feeds. Then in the spring of 2023, several things happened in quick succession. The first thing that happened was that I noticed a discoloration on the nib, on the cap of my TWSBI Mini Rose Gold. So I reached out to TWSBI, explained what happened. I also reached out to the manufacturer of the pen case where I had stored my pen in, and the reactions were twofold. The pen case maker was very apologetic. He said he had heard about this issue before. This was only happening with this rose gold TWSBI Mini. No other pen from any other manufacturer was ever discolored. They had changed the fabric tape that they were using so it wouldn't affect the pens any longer, and he offered to purchase a cap for me if need be, and he would also make me a pen sleeve for my TWSBI Mini. Wow, I was floored. TWSBI told me that they can send me a cap for the cost of shipping. That was the first time that I was a little salty because I did not do anything wrong with this pen. I didn't drop it, I didn't break anything. The discoloration happened because of the pen being in a pen case. And interestingly enough, I had also reached out to another company where I store my pens inside, and they also told me that would only happen. They had this problem as well, but also only with the TWSBI Mini Rose Gold. Okay, well then I decided I am not going to keep a pen that I need to be worried about discoloration, so I paid the shipping cost for the new cap, sold the pen, and that was that. However, just a month later, I had two things happen at the same time. I used my friend, I was at a meetup, and my friend used this pen to write and test out the ink that was inside, and her fingers were colored. So we cleaned the cap, we cleaned the section. I mean, yes, I'm dropping this here, and if that is something that will affect the lifetime of my pen, then I'm not the right person for this pen. Just a disclaimer. We wiped everything clean. She used it again, and her hands were inked again. So we checked, and sure enough, there was a huge crack on the all the way through to the outside of the section, all the way down to here. While she was writing with this pen, I noticed that the silver coating on this clip had flaked off. And I was really annoyed and devastated at the same time. So I decided, okay, let's just cut the losses, make one pen out of two. Because I had sold this pen, I purchased another one. I purchased a different color of TWSBI Mini, the black one, and I decided to do some research, and I found that you could purchase these TWSBI Mini sections without a nib for really cheap on fountain pen nibs, fpnibs.com. So I decided, okay, well, you know what? I am just not going to risk anything anymore. I will be taking all the nibs from all of those TWSBIs, putting those aside. I will have one of those for each nib width, and then I'm going to be happy. Perfect. That's a solution. It's not the solution that I was looking for, but it would mean that I wouldn't have to worry about cleaning all of those pens, about breaking anything more than there was. I would still be able to use these beautiful nibs, and I would be able to use them with this pen. Yeah, so far so good. The reason I decided to go that route was because I was still salty about the shipping costs. I'm really, that's something that just doesn't sit well with me, and so that's why that happened. Now, sometime, I'm not even really sure when, the I noticed how hard it was to screw on the cap onto the back of this TWSBI Mini. This is how I use it. Not threading on the cap to the back of the pen isn't really an option for me. This is how this pen feels comfortable and how it becomes a usable pen for me. When I looked at it closer, I realized that this whole barrel was cracked here in the nib section. And when I showed it to some friends, I don't even know where, Discord maybe, they told me that I probably over tightened this. I didn't know at the time that the clip doesn't necessarily line up with the nib, and you do not screw until the O-ring is completely hidden. You just screw until there is a little bit of resistance, and you don't do any more, because if you do, then you over tighten the barrel and then it starts cracking. And that's exactly what happened. Well, this is a pen that I really enjoy, that I love using. I have a specialty nib grind on here, which is a reverse architect. I love using it as an everyday carry. And so I decided, okay, user error on my side. I will bite and just get over myself. Contact TWSBI one more time. Pay for the shipping to replace this barrel. But while I'm at it, I will just send them pictures for all the other things that are broken. So that's exactly what I did. I sent them photos of all the broken things in my possession at the moment. And they, of course, I never had any negative or bad contact with them. It just didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. They told me that they would send me all the broken parts. I was actually even able to request only Eco T bodies, because I prefer those instead of Eco models for those pens that were Ecos. So I sent them photos of the broken things, and then I paid for shipping, and they sent me. And now I'm listing off everything that they sent me. They sent me 4 Eco T barrels to replace the cracked barrels that I had sent photos of. They sent me a new cap for the yellow-green Eco T because there were cracks up here. They sent me a new cap for the Eco Lilac because the silver plating was flaking off. They sent me a new cap for the Swipe because there were cracks all the way down to here. And they also replaced the barrel for my TWSBI Mini. I think this, as well as this, which I don't have anymore, clearly shows that TWSBI and I aren't made for each other. I should just leave them alone. Maybe it's complete user error. Maybe their products aren't made to last as long as I expect them to last. I don't know. I have made my peace with this. I am going to use these pens until something happens to them again. I hope that is not the case, because I still really love TWSBI pens. And that's why this story is titled Sad, TWSBI's sob story, because I don't want that this is happening. It's just happening. I talked earlier about my Lamy from 1997. This pen has lived with me for 30 years. There is no cracks. You do see definitely that it has been through things, but I have not had to replace anything with this pen in 30 years. I know that not all pens are made to live forever, but for a pen that is this cheap and has a similar price to this, I would love to be able to compare the longevity of both of those pens. And maybe I shouldn't just judge from a pen like this to other pens, same price range or even more expensive. But that's what I do, and that's why this just doesn't feel good to me, and why I will not throw my money basically out the window and then throw more money at it to have functioning writing instruments. There are so many more pens out there that don't have these issues, so that's just how this is going to work out for me, unfortunately. I would love to hear if you have similar experiences, or if I'm really just the only person that experiences this. One thing that I would like to mention, I hope you're still watching, is that I was told in an email when they shipped out the replacement barrels that I need to be careful with alcohol on my hands, because that would also lead to cracking issues in the pen barrels. I'm not usually a person who uses hand sanitizer, or especially when I use my pens, I also don't use lotion, which contains alcohol sometimes. But if that is happening to you and you use a lot of alcohol-infused things with your hands, that might be something to look into. I did film a super long video in August. I talked about this before, that where I switched out all the barrels, where I talked very incohesive. I hope this was cohesive and understandable and you were able to get my reasoning, but I have published that. It is linked in the description box down below this video. It is unlisted, so it's not all over the internet, but it's there. And if you want to spend 56 minutes of me trying to fix these pens, then I'm inviting you to check that video out. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, I will see you in another, maybe more happy video next time. Until then, bye.